Bum. 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 Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Hello. Well, I'll just wait till some people show up to start talking on this beautiful Sunday. It's not 8:30 yet, but it's about to be. So yep, yep. Do 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 do. Oh, somebody's watching. Who? Hey, we got two people. Hello, Creative Collective. How are you doing today? Welcome to Sundays with Suits. Tonight we're going to talk about power, purpose, and messages. Let me know if you can hear me. Somebody say, hey, I can hear you. Or no, Suits, I can't hear you. Let me know. Let me know. Can someone tell me if they can hear me? I feel like this is a bad movie. Like one of those 19 Hey, can you hear me? Hey, can you hear me? If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. Right? Thumbs up. Everybody can hear me? Guess I'm going to have to check and see if it's on my thing up here. Can you hear me? All right. They can hear me. Good. So everybody can hear me. Thank y'all for tuning in. 3 times a lady. And so as we have 3 people, I wanted to do something tonight special for everybody. And remember, you can always watch this again on Things Network. You can watch it on my Facebook page. But I know a lot of people are dealing with a lot of things. We have to learn how to work with our energies and setting our intentions. So when people come back, we're going to light a candle for everybody out there. I just love this card deck so much. We're going to play with it right now. The healing is beginning. What does that mean? When you see something like that, when you get a message card, right? Let's say I got a message, right? I was out there, I got a message from the world, right? The world gave me a message. The universe gave me a message. The Christ consciousness gave me a message. Whatever works for you. And you're sitting there, and it's probably like 5 o'clock in the morning. You got your Oracle deck out. You're like, hey, I'm excited. I think I'm going to play with my cards. I'm going to see what the universe has to show me. I'm going to do it. You dare me? You dare me to pull a card? And you pull a card. You're like, okay, here's some cards. Pick a card, any card, pick a card, any card, right? Da 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 da. Boom, 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 boom. I like to close my eyes, especially when I'm doing readings. I like to be like, hey, you know what? I have no idea what I'm going to pull, right? Some people like to be very familiar with their cards, like it's like their next girlfriend or boyfriend or significant other. Not like that. I like to be surprised. I like when I have something in my hand, I pull it out. I'm like, oh my god, I've never seen that card before, and be actually genuine, 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 genuine. We'll go with genuine. But like we pulled this card, right? The Healing Begins card, right? Look at that card, beautiful card, right? If you see that, it has some purple in there, has some green in there, has some blue in there, right? And the person's peeling back the curtains. What does that mean? When we start talking about healing within, what does that mean? Well, let me talk to you about what I believe, a Suitsy thing. Again, this is Suitsy's opinion. This is not Things Network opinion. This is not Tom, Dick, and Harry's opinion. This is not Jane Doe's opinion. This is Seth David Suits Healy opinion. Healing begins where it needs to begin, where you need it to begin. Your power, your purpose, your peace of mind, where that originates from is the important thing. Okay? So we have this healing is beginning type of thing. We want to know about the healing. We want to feel it. We want to understand it. How do we work with this internal healing of ourselves? And a lot of times it might be external, right? Because we might have to. I've started going out and doing walks, and everybody knows me knows I haven't been a nature boy since I was a kid. But like I said last week, I recently lost my cat, and I feel like it's the universe also saying to me, "Hey, Sotsy, hey Sotsy, you know what you need to do? You need to go look for your cat, and you might find your cat, but we're gonna get you out in nature too." So as I've started this new job working in customer service and call centers um, for a streaming service, I have learned a few things. One, be nice to the call center people. Be nice. Number two, be nice to the call center people. Number three, be nice to the call center people. Before, be nice to the call center people. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm not. I'm being dead serious. I have a whole new respect for people who work in my new profession. Hello, four people. How are you? We're talking about healing and beginnings. And so we pulled this card a little earlier, as you see right here. Hello, Paranormal Nation Radio. How are you doing today? So healing begins. Now, a lot of people, we talked about this last week a little bit. We talked about paranormal investigating. If you're in a healing process, I highly recommend not going on paranormal investigations. I highly recommend not doing that. If you're in an internal healing process, you're going through your stuff, you're very vulnerable, right? Unless you have people like Paranormal Nation Radio, you have experienced investigators who are like, hey, we're not going to put you in that place, okay? We're not going to put you over there. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to put you over here. We're going to put you over here with like the sheeps, but not the lambs to the slaughter. But we're not going to do that. We're going to put you where it's safe. And this was a nursery, and it was nice and kind. And it's only good memories and good energies. We're not going to take you to the speakeasy basement where bad stuff happened. We're not going to do that. But I've learned because people want to. They feel like if they. And this happens a lot. And again, I don't mean to offend. I know my wife tells me when you say you don't mean to offend people. My wife doesn't talk like that, by the way. I just like doing that. When you. Well, I want to make sure you're tuning in to Paranormal Nation Radio live right here at 5 p.m. Central Tuesday on Things Network. So make sure you come in, you tune in, you see them. They've been long supporters of me, and I very much appreciate it. They didn't have to do that. They don't know me from Adam. So thank you so much, Paranormal Nation Radio, for tuning in every Sunday. But back to healing begins. So if you are investigating, right? Like I said, I believe that we're always trying to find healing. Healer, heal thyself, right? First. But here, like with this card right here, I mean, what does that show you? What does that show you? That shows you that you're pulling back the curtains. You're showing your heart. Anytime you see green, that's heart. That's heart energy. It's not red. A lot of people are like, oh, romance is red. Romance is red. Some people say romance is dead. Romance is dead. No, I'm kidding. But no, some people will say that. Depending on if they're jaded, divorced, can't find love. No, But whatever. So peeling back the curtains of and finding that heart that you're working on healing. A lot of people don't realize that just because your heart is here, right? The essence of the heart could be here, could be here, could be in your hand, could be in your whole body, right? Some people are so empowered by the heart. They're so caring, they're so compassionate, they're so understanding, right? That their heart. So if you got damaged, say you got in a fight, either spiritual fight, um, physical fight, right? All of the above, those tests. I hated those tests when they were a kid. And they have all these great options, right? And then you look down, right, and you'd be like, well, that's interesting. I could swear that's the right answer. When I was applying for this job, they had some multiple choices, and I was like, I'm making this too hard on myself because these three are the right answers. But that could be the right answer. That could be. They don't want the could be's. They want the right answers. So when you're working with healing yourself and the healing begins, then you have to understand that's a process. Healing is a process. I talk about my friend who goes and he's an amazing holistic worker, but he'll go on a sabbatical. He knows his clients so well, and he'll work on one person, and then he'll take a break because he knows he's not going to give himself fully to the collective of people. He knows himself. Know thyself, right? Know thyself. To thy own self be true. So when you're pulling back those curtains and you're seeing your heart, now to me this tells me someone's heart may be on the ground when it should be up here, right? Right. I'm gonna tell you a personal story. So as you know, I have tons and tons of decks of cards. Well, you don't know that, but I'll just prove it to you. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, it goes on and on. I have trunks and trunks full. And one of the things that I have noticed with a lot of people is, and I noticed this, you can work with one deck of cards, one modality, one set of runes, and you become good at it. Now, I always, me being the eccentric medium, me being the intuitive storyteller, the entertainer of the intuitive world. Yes, I just call myself the entertainer of the intuitive world. I did. How you like them apples, right? Hello, Nick. Hello, Nick. We're gonna do a song for Nick, right? You all ready? Here we go. Boom, 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 boom. Well, Nick's on the station. He's rocking and he's rolling. Nick's on the station and he's moving in motion. Go, Nick. Go, Nick. It's your birthday, not really, but go, Nick. Nick's been a long time supporter of the station as well. He's a great guy. Make sure you're following him and all that he's doing. He's a big on the Para Unity. So make sure you're following them. Again, Paranormal Nation Radio, who's been here from the beginning, when he doesn't have to be, like Nick didn't have to be. Please like and share this video when you see this. So, and remember, you can email sundayswithsuits at gmail.com. Lord God, I hope that's the right email. If it's not, you can always email the eccentric medium at gmail.com. You can also look me up at suitshealy.com. Don't throw shade on my website. I'm still in the process. I'm losing weight. That's why I'm going to the gym and working out. Not going to the gym yet, but walking the block and listening to 16 Tons. If you have not listened to that song, it's what I do every day before work. I burn some incense and I listen to 16 Tons, and then I listen. In the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by. And there's another version where Daddy sang bass, Mama sang tenor, like so. It's just my power. It's my power song. I love it so much. So anyway, we're talking about healing begins with the heart, and the reason why, uh, I'm being very upfront and honest, and I want to give a big shout out to Howard, Jeremy, and Elaine and Ali and everybody who supports me. So I've been looking at the videos, and I wanted to make sure that they were uh, what I wanted and what I would want to watch. And uh, you know, Nick can tell you this. I did a show not too long ago. I did Paranormal Swap Talk with Howard and Nick, uh, and I did Petri Dish, I believe, as well. Yes, and I was talking about how people should present themselves. Now, I'm in the process, and I'm telling you right now, I'm saying it right now. I want y'all to hear me. I want y'all to hear me right now. In a year's time, this will be a studio with a really nice camera and blue backdrop and all that kind of stuff. When you have a 9-month-old, almost a year old, and you start a new job, things get a little hectic. Things get a little hectic, but we gotta press on. And the circle be unbroken. Da 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 da. Sorry, 16 Tons. All right. So when you're working with the healing begins in the heart, don't be afraid to ask the questions, the hard questions. These questions are things like this: why am I hurt? I was writing a play when I was younger, and if I would have asked that question, I would have said, "Hey, you know what? Why am I hurt? Why am I hurt?" That play would have turned very, very different. People don't want to ask why. There's a great book. I give Tim Phillips great credit for this. Start with Why, I believe it's called. And if you are an actor or entertainer or anything, make sure you get Tim Phillips' book. It's Audition for the Career, Not the Job. He has workshops all over the country as well. Tim Phillips, you can look him up. It's great stuff. But he gave us this book to read, and I was like, I'm not gonna read a book. At that time, I was like, I love reading, but I just for some reason I was stuck in my head. I'm not gonna read a book because I had not let the healing begins. Right? I was too worried about having all of this stuff. Right? I need all of this stuff. Right? Stuff. And I'll tell you, I wish I could say I'm not like that anymore. It's a process. It's a process. And I'm working on it. It's a process. And I'm working on it. It's a process. And I'm working on it. Yes, I am. All right. So we have to start looking at the heart of the matter. Oh, see what I did there? I sometimes even entertain myself. Right? I just love this card. And I'm going to tell you something I've learned in my last, it's a professional, intuitive, and medium. Like I said, you don't have to have thousands of decks of cards, right? I started because I felt, and I'll be very honest, I felt that if I didn't show I was committed to the practice of holistic arts, holistic healing, intuitiveness. Also, I wanted to show the place where I was employed that I believe that I was investing in myself. You don't have to show your employer that you're investing in yourself. If you are doing your job, right, and you're doing it greatly, right, with the like Tony the Tiger, like great, right? I just probably dated myself there too, but and you're doing that, you do not have to. Now, I want to repeat. You're at a job to make money. That's what a lot of people forget nowadays. I don't know what happened. I forgot to. Right? You're there to make money, to support your friends. I mean, to support your family, uh, and yourself. If you have a family, if you don't, support the future. Right? You invest in yourself. You succeeding is them showing that you are investing in yourself. Okay? That is the key. I'm going to check over here on Facebook and see what people are saying. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's not me. Okay. All right. So the healing that I had to learn, right? And I also had to say, it's not this person's fault. And a lot of times in my life, I was like, you know what? Not my fault. Not my fault. It's not my fault. No. That's not my fault. It's not my fault. I made this much money. I could have bought a new car. You know, one thing that significant others and wives and husbands and very serious girlfriends and boyfriends will do for you is they will keep you accountable. It really changes when you have a kid in the mix too. And you know, the great thing about my wife is, and I don't mean to call her out, but she's just so amazing, is that she will use my own words that I say. Like it's like you know, to make me see what needs to be seen. Healing begins, right? I didn't want to get a job. I didn't want to the whole COVID thing. Hello, Irene. How are you doing? That's when the people who say messages and everything, I will start singing you a song. So here we go. So hold that thought about what I was gonna do, but here's Irene's song. Hey Irene, bum 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 bum, how are you doing? Bum 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 bum, you're doing good. That's great. Glad to see you here. Let's get some answers for you. Woo-hoo! All right, good. So here we go. Talking about healing begins. And so my what I didn't want to get a job. One, because the last job I had I loved a lot. And I never expected that I would not be at that job. The reason of my departure, all on me. The reason why I say this, for healing to begin, you have to take accountability. You have to start saying, hey, my purpose here, listen, my purpose, you see these elephants behind me, right? I'm going to tell a story about that too. But my purpose is what? What is my purpose? I thought for the longest time my purpose was to be a screenwriter, an acting teacher, um, just a free spirit, living on the wind, right? Until I inherited it, right? That's what I thought. Isn't that a good name for a book? I should write that down. Nick, will you write that down for me? Will you put that in the messages? If you're still there? Living on the wind until I inherited it. And I'm not saying I just know that Nick's a smart man. So right. Exactly. So do what you do best. My wife, you know, when I was really down in the dumps. I really haven't talked about this publicly, and I know the internet is forever. Um, and I've been hesitant and reluctant to talk about it because you know I am the eccentric, I am the entertainer, and I haven't told her I was going to do this either. So, um, just a side note, before you talk about stuff about your life that impacts other people, get their permission. But here, it's part of my healing begins. I had a son. I have a son, um, and for the first couple of months after he was born, uh, I suffered from the male version of postpartum. Um, and it took me a long time. I was in bed, um, but I also was upset that I had, the job that I had has come to an end, a part of my life that I never thought would end, right? And I think this happens to a lot of people, um, that you're doing something, you're like, "Oh my god, this is the greatest thing in the world!" You're like, "This is the greatest thing in the world, and it's never gonna end, and I'm gonna be here till the end," right? And you've got plans. You got plans. Oh, okay, Irene. Um, and you're working hard to maintain that. And so many people don't they work too hard. They don't work smart. They don't keep it simple. Sweets or stupid or however you want to say it. They don't. And they don't understand, and I have this is from a show I did. My friend Greg gave it to me and I keep it. It's from a book called Salvage Marines. This is the job, right? And you never would think that something like this, you would see it and it would knock you in the head like a pile of bricks. Be like, bam! Right? But when your wife, hello, Bridget. Oh, you got to sing for Bridget. So we're at my wife. Ready? Here we go. Hello, Bridget. Thank you for tuning in. We might get some answers for you, my dear friend. You might be inspired. You might ride upon the winds. All right. So my wife, again, she was very patient with me. Most people probably would have had their father or their brothers or somebody come and be like, "Hey, what the but boop are you doing?" Right? Like you had the greatest gift in the world, right? You have an amazing family, a healthy son, right? And you are sitting like a non along going, "Bud, why, sir?" And I don't drink, so I shouldn't even been singing that. Um, dating myself again right there. That's okay. That's okay. Because doing this part of it is this is the job. This is part of my life now. I had to decide that I was going to engage my purpose. You know, when I was studying acting, when I came back from Los Angeles, and I met Tim Phillips and I met Jim Gleason and some other people. I learned quickly. I'm a big Star Trek fan, and I always loved Engage, and I've always loved and Make It So. And so I sort of put two together, engage a situation and make it so. And I was not engaging my situation, and I was not making it so. So I was saying things like "Uga Sooth, onward, upward, greatness abound, soak up your humanity," right? But I wasn't following through. And as an artist, as a holistic worker, as just a human being, uh, I felt that I was being phony. I love Star Trek too. The new one, Prodigy, on Paramount Plus, is amazing. Um, and I was buying everything, every holistic thing I could possibly buy. Um, I was buying comic books out of the wazoo. I was buying stuff to get answers. That's what I was doing. I was making purchases. And so I was not becoming prosperous in peace. Pip, prosperous in peace. I made a new one. There we go. See if I remember that. Prosperous in peace. Pip. Um, I I was being I was living a lie, right? I was living a lie. and being who I am, right, and seeing that I had this beautiful son, right, and the most amazing wife, and a house and a roof and a place for my dogs and cats and just everything you could possibly imagine. Uh, I woke up one morning and I was like, "Wow, you're right. It doesn't help you mentally, just physically." Um, hold on. Irene says, "But here in Japan, women get fed 3,500 calories after delivery to prevent PPS because you are so exhausted afterwards. It drains you physically and mentally. It doesn't help you mentally, just physically." So, jumping off that lily pad, as I like to say here, and thank you for that information. Uh, I was doing stuff for me that I thought was helping me. Uh, I felt after my work that I had been as a intuitive and a medium and as an acting teacher and all that. I was like, I don't understand why I'm in this situation. I had the greatest blessing. I have my son, my wife, my house, married, stuff I never thought in a million years that would happen to me. Um, but it happened. When it happened, it was it shocked me. Like, I think of the Evanescence song, "Bring Me Back, Bring Me to Life." I think I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this. I love the song. I love the singer. Um, and I just kept on wanting to come back to life. It wasn't who I was, right? It wasn't. I felt like I was. You see those movies where they say the person's trapped, right? They're trapped behind and they can't get out. Like, right? A great portrayal of this is in Doom Patrol. Jane, the character of Jane. Um, you just feel like like you're trapped sometimes, and you couldn't get out. And I was mentally not healthy. I was not in the best of energies, right? And I thought, hey, if I do a lot of holistic work, right, and I started doing free sessions and all this kind of stuff, trying to like get back in balance. Like when you go, I don't know a lot about the gym, as you can tell, but I know this. Like if you go to the gym and you just go, like the road runner, right, thinking you're the Hulk, um, it's not going to be good. It's not going to have the outcome that you want. And so, uh, I had to decide. I had to decide because, like I said, my wife was being so patient with me and so loving. I did not know what to do. I didn't know what kind of job to do. I was like, I love being intuitive. I love being a medium, right? But I have to do like we all do. We all have to, until we get that blessing from the heavens, the real job, you know? And I was reminded of the song my dad used to play for me, 16 Tons, by Ernie Ford, I believe. I think that's right. Um, I should know that by now, damn it. I apologize if I got your name wrong. Uh, and I was listening to it and I was like, whew, whew, okay, all right. So I looked at where I needed to start healing. I started reading a lot of scripture every day, and I wanted to get back into balance. I needed that. I had to find my homeostasis, right? If you look behind me, there's some elephants on a painting that hung in my family home for years. These elephants are from my wedding. When I was getting adopted by my grandparents, the judge had elephants like that. They were carved wooden elephants, and you could put them together, and you could, you know, explain how a herd of elephants was like a family. It is a family. And if you look at the one at the end, right, the end, that judge took that elephant and put it in the middle for me to say, okay, so you may feel like you're outside right now, but we're going to put you, and he had my father, my mother my grandparents, excuse me, let me take that, boom, put it in the middle, right? And says, you are protected. You're part of this family, right? Uh, and I was blessed. My grandparents, they didn't have to adopt me from their firstborn daughter. They didn't have to do that, but they did it. And, you learn things as you get older, what's important in life, right? And you wish that you would have known, you wish that you would have behaved differently, right? Like if I just would have known, damn it, if I just would have known, if I just would have known, like Macho Man, if I just would have known, right? And you're gonna go, Paul Bear, oh yes, if you just would have known. So, what I'm saying here is, I wish I would have known 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, even. Hey, um, you don't have to wear the diamond ring, quote unquote. You don't have to show out. You don't have to do this, that, these, and those. You have to believe in what you're doing, and the work will speak for itself. For a long time, it's been a hard thing for me, and I'm still learning it. Right? I'm a things person. Right? Look at that. I did a little right there. Things person. Always have been. I'm a collector. I just love books. I love comic books. I love trinkets. I love card decks. I love anything. It's just me. I'm a things guy. And when my wife was like, "Hey," and she sat me down and she was like, "You're not happy." And I was talking to a confidant, and she called me out and she said, "You're a people person. You need people. You can't just sit in four walls and not be around people." And you can blame COVID and you can blame everything else. But at the end, if you don't get off your ass, pardon my French, and do something, the only person to blame, right? It's not Charles, it's not Daniel, it's not this person, that person, it's not it's not a boss, it is you. Because if these opportunities are at your door, right? And when they knock and you don't answer and you hear it, right? And even sometimes you leave a note at the door. You open the door and you avoid the note, right? We've all done that. How many times we got a package, right, from UPS or whatever, and we're like, I'll get it later. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I don't need it right now. I'm gonna go, right? And then you come home and you read, 10 parcels. If not picked up by 5:00, they're being shipped back to the company. I was blessed and am blessed because I learned that the healing begins when you say it begins. When you get up, right, out of your foxhole, out of your rabbit hole, right, out of your mole hole, whatever hole you're in. If you're trapped in the belly of a whale, right, you've been writing down your life, right, and your records. The whale is the records keeper, much like the Akashic records. If you want to go with that route, and you're finally ready to explode, then do it. Get out. I'm not saying you don't ever get trapped again. I've been there. I got trapped again, right? But you just got to push out. The new job I have is one of the hard. I've been a talent manager. I've been an acting teacher. I've worked at Target. I've worked at a holistic store. This is the hardest job I've ever had in my life. All right, let me say what Bridget's saying. Bridget says family is very important. It can be blood, family, one's chosen family works great too. Same. I have more books and shelves, more skulls than I know what to do with, more art prints on the wall, but I'm finally putting all that to use by going back to school to get my art history degree. Some crying included. Crying is a true sign of a hero or a heroine. So crying cleanses the body. Just think of rain. Just say, hey, your body is rain. It's pouring out the water so that you can fertilize the new beginnings, right? The seeds, the harvest you're planting. So when I got this job, and for the first couple of days, I was like, I don't like, not me. I'm not this. I'm not that. Da, 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 da. And I started complaining, right? I started complaining because I wanted out. I wanted out. I wanted out. I wanted out. I was like, this is not my life. And so the healing could not begin. I joke around like because I'm terrible with customer service people. I'm not anymore, but I was. And karma that exists. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Um, but I had to learn, and I'm still learning. I'm learning that the healing that we're going through and that we're processing, right? And we're all on different levels. Like I'll give you a perfect example. Anybody who has had readings with me, right? Uh, I'm gonna put a picture on next week of what my tables used to look like and how many decks of cards I used to use, right? And I still use a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna say I don't do that anymore, right? But just with this one session, we used one card, right? One card. I can't tell you how many instructors, I can't tell you how many intuitives, mediums, holistic workers told me it's not about the stuff. It's not about the stuff, right? It's about the worker. It's about the 16 tons. It's about knowing your commitments. It's about knowing your goals. It's about knowing thyself. It's about learning how to heal thyself. And then, if you have energy left over, right? Helping the other people, right? Helping the other people. So many holistic workers, so many paranormal investigators, so many actors and actresses, producers, directors, artists of all sorts, healers of all sorts. They get in this downward spiral at times and they lose focus. They get trapped in these holes, right? They get trapped in these rabbit holes and because they're trying to find answers, right? They're trying to find answers. I tell the story about when I got into paranormal investigation officially. My father had passed away, uh, and I was in a house that I was so used to him being in, and uh, it was weird. And I wanted answers of why it was weird, right? So thankfully, a local comic book store and a local old friend, Zuga, introduced me to some of these amazing paranormal teams. It's like, oh, you should have them investigate. My mom was like, no one's investigating our house, but you can go investigate wherever you want, right? I had no friends at the time when I came back, uh, and I just was like, again, on the wind. I was just like, let's go, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Um, I had no, I had, there was no focus, right? And that's what happens with a lot of times with grief. We don't, we forget how to focus. Or if we do focus, we focus on these things that are so not healthy for us, be it anger, resentment, rage. Man, I can't tell you how much anger and resentment I had. I thought, my family brought me back from LA. I was this close, da, 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 and just continually making all these excuses and anger and rage and building and building. And what I was doing, there's a great card. I hope I can find it one day of a person, and they're standing in the middle, right? And they're building blocks. They're building this thing around them, and they're trapping themselves in, right? And that's what I was doing. Luckily, I had some people who saw I was doing that. Um, I say I've given him credit before, but Carson Beck, one of my good high school buddies, I was writing crazy stuff on Facebook, right? And he called me out. He's like, man, your posts are bipolar. One day it's great, the other day it's down here. Da 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 da. You've got to find your happy medium. You've got to find your balance because this is driving people crazy. Uh, and so I went back and I researched what I was writing. I was like, ooh, ooh, yeah, the internet's forever. Ooh, that was whew, right. And so I had to look back and say, okay, what can I do? And that's how Uga Sooth came about. Um, because I was making sure that any post that I put out there was always positive. And Uga, onward, comes from my dad. Upwards, right? Always onwards, upward, greatness abounds. Soak up the humanity. And so I put that there, right? Um, and it's helped me. It's helped me find even in my purpose. No matter what, even my darkest days, if I look at that and it's like, oh, okay, Uga Sooth, I can always come back. We can always come back. The healing begins when you want it to begin. Is it going to cost you something? Uh huh. Anything worth its salt, worth its weight? Yes, it's going to cost you something. Is it going to be expensive? Don't know. Is it going to be a commitment? Yes. Healing is a commitment, right? It's like people who go to massage therapists, right? And they're like, oh, my back is so hurt. It's so hurt, man. I'm in so much pain, right? And the massage therapist says, hey, okay, we can work the lower back, right? We could really work that lower back, right? But you probably need to come back in about a month's time, right? But you're just like, I want quick relief, I want that quick relief. I need that. I need it. I need it. I need it. I need it. And you're like, ooh, right? I need it. I gotta have it. But you forget after you've got the relief that hey, so the upper back is what's really damaged, and something has caused it to impact the lower back. I'm not a physical person, body person, but I'm just saying using this as colorful imagery, right? So if you forget, right, or you don't care, right, that's the most dangerous. You have to be aware. Uh, that being said, don't let someone take advantage of you either, right? Be there, be present in those moments. You've got to be present in those moments because once you're present in those moments, you're in control. You control the situation. You're bringing order to your chaos, right? You're bringing order to your chaos. And chaos is beautiful. That's where creativity. All right, Nick, thank you so much. Um, but we have to find that order. We have to understand what we are doing. We have to understand. We have to understand. And once we understand, it's still a process, right? I can't tell you how many clients I've had. They've come in, they're like, I'm in the greatest relationship of my life, but I'm not happy. Okay. Let's look at that. And then when they look at it and they're like, ooh, ooh. So that's that. So I was blaming that and this, right? And the reason why I say that is I was blaming every single thing of my life on other people. And I wasn't taking accountability. Cause and effect, right? As a writer, that should have been right here, like all over my desk. Cause and effect, right? This happens, and that happens. Domino, do, right? It happens. Beautiful thing, cause and effect scene, right? A plus B is what? C, right? C for creative. C for create. Um, C for not the grade you want. But you'll take it if you don't get the A or the B. But no, really. So focusing and understanding that the healing begins when you want it to begin. Like today, um, when I was like, I was seeing the videos that I did before, and I was like, you're trying to fit a square block into a circle block, trying to be something that you're not. That's not me. That's not me. I've been there before, but I had to say, okay, I'm just going to be me, right? I'm going to be me. And I'm still in the beginning phases of healing, right? We all are in these beginning phases of healing in certain places. There are certain levels, right? You might be at level A, right? You might be level A, and when you get to level B, you're at the beginning. You're at the beginning of level B in healing, right? So you went all the way to A, right? That healing process, say mentally, all right? We'll say mentally or spiritually. Spiritually is probably one of the hardest ones for a lot of people, especially people who were raised in the church. Sometimes they have a lot of stuff they have issues with, right? So they go from A, right? And they go up those ladders and they're like, okay, I can, all right, okay. They did that and this caused that and okay. I'm taking that and I'm respecting what happened, but I deserve to grow. I deserve to grow. I am enough. I'm empowered. I'm going to engage my situation and make it so, right? I'm going to sit in the captain's chair, right? I'm not going to let anybody else captain my ship, right? The only way that happens is if you let someone take over your captain's chair. And if you look at Star Trek, Picard, Riker, right? Uh, Riker earned anytime he got to sit in that chair. Spock earned anytime he got to sit in that chair. Don't let people sit in your chair who do not deserve it. Don't let people into your life that are going to bring you down because they're going to make my Instagram more popular. Oh, they're going to make my following more, right? Or no. Believe in you. Believe in you. Believe in you. Believe in you. I had an acting teacher once tell me he had they directed this play, right? And they knew that the material was a little controversial, right? But they had found a venue that would allow them to do it. And I think maybe one or two people showed up, right? And the the characters went out there, and the director said he's never seen a show that was more committed to living life truthfully under imaginary circumstances. Most people be like, "Oh, boom, there's oh wow," right? They didn't drop a beat, nothing. Boom, they just went. The next night, the audience was full because two, went out and said, "Y'all have to see this show. It's an amazing show. You have to go see it." Blah 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 blah. Right? Two, even one. Right? One person shows up, you give them the best thing ever. Hell, no one shows up. In social media days now, people have lives. Like the fact that I have 3 people right now is amazing because it's late. It's a Sunday, right? Everybody's getting ready for work on Monday, right? Or they're watching football, or they're doing whatever, having family time. So it doesn't matter if it's 1 or 0 or 10,000. You be true to you. So when I was in that place in my life where I was so angry and so upset that I had to engage another situation to make my heart's desire true, to make that a possibility, that I was going to have to learn a whole new way of doing things, right? I was angry for a while, not going to lie. I was angry. I was mad. I was like, universe, this is some right? Um, and then I got on the phone and I remember what my confidant said. The confidant said, "You're a people person. People. Everything else is just going to flow. You might fall 6 or 7 times, but as long as you stay true to who you are, right? Don't take anybody's BS, right? Don't let anybody else sit in your chair, right? You're gonna Sell. You're going to sell. And I want to tell people out there right now, because you might be watching this 3 years from now. You might be watching it 3 hours from now, right? You have the power, right? Perfect example is Kevin Smith. People tore him a new existence after the He-Man, right? After the He-Man came on Netflix. But if you watch Kevin Smith and you listen to Kevin Smith, right? And you hear how much he loves nostalgia and old school stories, right? And loves fan bases and respects fan bases, right? When this new part of the second Revelations of He-Man comes out, right? People will be like, oh. They're not going to talk about Kevin Smith. They're going to talk about why the studio didn't put it all out the whole time, right? Everybody is always going to try to find an excuse. I'm a human being. You're a human being. Sometimes we're beautiful. Sometimes we're not. Sometimes we say things we don't mean. Sometimes we do say things that we mean. And then we're like, oh, I probably should have said that. Right? You know, it's a great place here. You don't look back in anger. I think that's right. John, I think it's John. But you look. Don't look back in anger. Look back in peace. Look back and say, you know what? From my viewpoint right here, this is good. Right? This is good. If you have an opportunity, right? If you people, this is something that happens to a lot of people in our paranormal world. So I want to tell you this: if you've auditioned for a paranormal show, right, and you hear things like, "Oh my God, it's gonna go," the studio loves you, it's great, or the people who get you to audition for it say, "Oh my God, you're great, you're gonna be great for this, it's amazing," da 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 da, right? Until you see contract, which is approved by a lawyer, and until you see the studio behind it and you've done your research, right? Don't get caught up. Stay true to who you are. Go out, be that warrior, be that spiritual soul, be that investigator, be that discoverer, be that searcher, be that seeker, be that person on the captain's ship, right? In the captain's chair, doing what you do best, right? Doing what you do best. If by chance you get to stop off at a planet, right, or an island, right, where you get to build an estate and stay there for a while and learn some new things and, you know, make some money and help yourself and help your family. Awesome. But you can wish in one hand and you can boop in the other. Which one will fill up first? Right? It's great to have heart's desires. But when heart's desires prevent you from action, that's a problem. Speaking from personal hand experience, I have the desire for this. This is my desire. Alas, poor Yorick, I knew him well, right? But I trained to do this. I trained to do that. But all this stuff, and now just go away. I want it back. Come back. Come back. Come back. It was so good. I know it's comfortable. It's like that the Snoopy character, right? Charlie Brown character who has a little blanket, right? It's so comfortable. I need it. I gotta have this. I gotta have this. If I don't have this, I'm not safe. I'm not secure. And right? But it's when you let go and you wash the blanket because it stinks, and no girl or significant other is gonna come near you because it smells. You don't smell, but that smells. That's a bad, right? You let go. You let God. You let the creator consciousness, right? Remember, you take the ego out of it. Ego, edging God out, right? Edging the good out. We don't want that. We want to bring the good in, right? We want to bring the good in. We want to feel that good. We want to share that good, right? That's what's important. That's what's important. If we don't allow ourselves to love and love well and live well anything that we do, right, that is not above board, quote unquote, that's on us. Not on Tom, Dick, Harry, Jane, Judy. Is not no, that's on us. That'd be on me. If we're not living our best life, right? If we're not living with our eye on the prize and we're not living truthfully and virtually and authentically, right? And we're not engaging our situations, that's on us. You can't blame anyone else, right? I tell people when you're working with obstacles, right? Even if they're self-made, which almost all obstacles are, there's some that due to environmental, social, political obstacles uh, that you just you it they're there, and you can get over them. They may be a lot harder, but when you get over them and you see somebody else at that obstacle, you can say, "Hey, you know what I did? I put some steps because I never wanted to have to do that again. I never wanted anyone else to have to experience what I experienced. I learned, I learned so others could get up here and help me build this empire, right? There's a great song, Ladder of Success by Ted Hawkins, and he talks about how he's on the ladder and he's helping people up. He's not just going up, but he's not carrying them. He's helping them up. He's helping them grab the rung of the ladder, and they're picking up and they're going click, 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 click. Right? You have a job. They have a job. You have a purpose. They have a purpose. Sometimes they align. Sometimes they don't. Right? The paranormal world, so many times we get like, oh, yeah, we can do this. Like, let's do this. Let's do that. And or even in the theatrical world, in film and TV, oh, you want to do that show? You want to do something like, okay, good. Let's do that. Let's put this together. But there's no structure. There's no foundation. And if there's no foundation, there's just these sticks of these great ideas and they're sticking out, right? When that hurricane of healing and hurricane of happiness and hurricane of everything that's blowing through, it's going to blow all that stuff down because it's not secure. But if you have that foundation and those buildings and they're structurally sound, right? And you've built a thing that can sustain and you can see and be safe and you can see that storm and you can experience that storm. You can feel the thunder. You can hear the rain drop on your tin roof. You can feel the wind and see the wind blowing through the trees. And you can experience with all your senses and get that inspiration in your body and your soul. Then you have something. Then you have what we call an inspiration. We have a cocoon. We have that egg, right? Change is inevitable, right? But we have to begin. We're all born to change. I'll be the first one to admit I'm not a big person for change. I don't like it a lot of times, right? I like my routines. I like very traditional on a lot of levels. But I've learned, right? I've also learned that you can tell a person at that obstacle that you put a block here. Hello, Sam. We got to do Sam a song. Hello, Sam. Sam for Samson. Thomas for time. Hello, Sam. Thank you for tuning in this time. So you're at that brick, right, or that obstacle, and you've made the stairs, right, for other people. You say, hey, okay, blah, blah, blah. You teach a man, to fish. He can feed his family for what, right? Right? If you just give him fish, then he's never going to learn, or she's never going to learn, right? And this happens with people in paranormal teams. See, if you just do, if a person does not know how to set up a camera and all that kind of stuff, right? And you're like, oh, well, they're just great. They're great for the Instagram. They're great for the following. She looks really good on camera. He looks really good on camera. People are going to watch us, right? They're going to, we don't, blah, blah, blah. And studios do this all the time. And theaters do it all the time. And everybody does it all the time. They take, and they're like, oh, well, they're popular. They're popular. That song, I'm not gonna sing that song, but that popular song, and so they're gonna help us, right? They're gonna help us. But you ask them to put up a camera, how to actually work a EMF or a ghost box, or you ask them how to build a set, or you ask them how to set up the camera for their audition. Uh, they have no idea. One of the greatest lessons I ever learned um, from somebody who's like my secondary father was this. Uh, he said, "You want to audition for plays at this school?" I was like, "Yes, I really do." He's like, I promise you, you help me build sets. You learn for the next 3 years how to build these sets." I was in elementary school. I mean, junior high at the time. When it comes time you're in high school, they cannot deny you. You might not get a lead, but your commitment. Say your audition was not the greatest, but they know that you're good, but you're not a good auditioner, right? Right? But your commitment to the cause, your commitment to the creative, that's going to be in your favor. That's going to be in your favor, right? You show up. You show up, you do the job, right? You make those connections. You create and a rapport, right? You don't just do the job, you do it well, right? Like, this set token I have. This is a job. That blah, blah, blah. This is a job. I know what I signed up for. And I take that and I believe every school should do it, especially for people in theater. If you want to be a lead, you have to work tech first. If you want to audition for me, you have to know how to let that camera run. You have to know how that edit machine works. And people are like, "Well, no, that's what I pay you people for." I don't, but they have respect for it. Respect the art, not yourself in the art. Respect the art. I'm getting the Stanislavski quote wrong. Love the art, not yourself in the art. Right? That's what you have to do. We have to love the art of paranormal investigation. We have to love the art of storytelling. We have to love the art of this, that, these, and those. The things that inspire us, make us happy. We have to love those things, not ourselves in those things, because those things are bigger than me, you, Tom, John, Michael, whoever else, Sally, Judith, much bigger. And when you realize that these things are so much bigger, right? When you realize that, that's when the healing begins. When you realize that, you know what? The world has other people in it. It's a beautiful world. And I can learn a lot if I just shut up and listen. You hear that in school. If you talk less and listen more, well, things probably be different, right? We have to learn. And I tell people when I'm coaching them and storytelling and character work, they're like, "I just want you to help me audition. That's all. I want to book the role." And I'd have people and they'd be like, "Oh no, this is how you have to do it." Blah blah. I was like, "You booked the role, great. I'm training you how to be a character, how to learn your character." Investigators who teach people how to respect the art of exploration, study, science, how to say, "Hey, that sink, how long's that sink been dripping?" Right? Blah, blah, blah. Let's see if it's causing anything down. Okay. You have flood damage. Okay. And learning how to respect boundaries, right? People aren't taught these old school rules because people think all the old school rules are intrusive and outdated. But a lot of old school rules, quote unquote, really, really help build a strong essence, build a strong team, build a strong ensemble, right? When I was getting my degree in theater, I had to learn tongue twisters, and I had to, and, I speak fast, as y'all probably noticed, and so I really had to really learn how to articulate. So much now that it annoys people at times, and I'll even correct myself, be like, I can actually talk, right? Because I know in my head I've gone too fast. And when the funny thing is, like, if you work with tongue twisters, and then you say it to somebody, and they try, and they're like, but huh? Right? Sometimes you just don't realize. You don't realize you're good at one thing. They might not be. That's okay. If they want your help, offer it. If they don't be offended. They may go home, get on the computer, get on their tablet, and say, I'm going to learn this thing because that's really impressive. I like that. What is this? Right? They may be shy. They may be scared. Right? Our job as storytellers, as investigators, as holistic workers, as paranormal investigators, as human beings is to be there. Because these things that go bump in the night, these things that trouble and burden us, these things that hinder us, these things that prevent us, these things, right? They're not always named. And for everybody, they're different. They're different. And we have to understand that difference is what makes us. Our cracks, our fractures, all of these things in our lives, they make us who we are. No human being is made the exact same. There may be some very close similarities, and there's some scientists who are really trying to, like, and some plastic surgeons who are really trying to make people look like other people. But blah, blah, blah. I digress. We just have to be us, and we have to be true and be real. That's how you find your peace. That's how you get that balance. I lost a cat, right? And it brought me outside for the first time in a long time, really walking and enjoying the wind on my face. And I couldn't find any excuses not to do it. Actually, I found reasons to do it. Well, I'm on my ass all day, man, and doing call center work. So I don't want to. I want to stay healthy and happy. And if I find my cat, great. I get to meet the neighborhood. That's good. Uh, Maybe I'll find some inspiration, hear some music. I found good reasons to do these things. To thy own self be true, and know thyself. Yes, 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 yes. Oracle at Delphi. Um, so this is the things that we have to. The healing begins. And ladies and gentlemen, we did this with one card, right? Now I'm going to tell you, this broadcast, this video, this is something that if you believe I need all these things, and I'm telling you, I'm that kind of person, right? I mean, you've seen it. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I probably have 30 tools on my desk, right? And now I've challenged myself because I'm gonna start doing the circuit now that the pandemic is sort of lowering down. I'm gonna try to do these conferences and stuff. So if you know the conferences to go to, please put them in the messages. And I was like, I can't carry all this stuff. That's a lot. And if I break something, I'll never forgive myself. Right? So I challenged myself with y'all's help. I was like, I'm going to learn how to do it with less. So I also wanted to, before we go, I'm going to pull 4 cards, just to end on, because it's 9:43. It's almost 10. So that was Healing Begins. And this is how the show is going to be from now on. It's not going to. I was trying to do something that I thought about it a lot, and I was like, I know I'm going to just go and do what I know what I feel comfortable doing. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Please like and share this video. Um, if you want an appointment, theeccentricmedium@gmail.com, suitshealy.com. If you know somebody who wants an appointment, please just send them that way. I do hour readings. I do what I call the deep dive, which is really intense, and you get your spirit guides, and you get your you learn a lot. It's like a quote unquote. I'm not gonna say master class. I don't like that term. But you understand more about who you are in your holistic journey, and what's preventing you and what's hindering you. And it's hard when people tell you, like when you something I've learned as a holistic worker is that sometimes it's easier and sometimes it's harder, depending on the case, right? Um, because you're hearing things that you know. Like I knew I needed to go outside. I knew I needed to walk. I have high blood pressure. I knew that I needed to get out there, right? But it took a cat disappearing, like his name's Avalon, the mist of Avalon, to make things disappear, and boom, for me to go out and to go outside and to walk. So if you need your quote unquote Avalon moment, or your Avalon thing, your symbol or your sign, here it is. Whatever you're thinking you need to do, go do it. Don't be afraid. Engage your situation and make it so. So it's 9:50, 9:45. We'll pick 3 cards. Here they are. All right. Success and growth. These things you can do. Look at that. Those trees growing. When you're grounded, you are successful. I tell people to imagine that their body, when they're grounding themselves, to go out, no matter where you are, and feel the ground with your hands, right? To the superhero land, hand down, and let your feet become roots, go all the way down to the ends of the earth, to the core of the earth. And when in your creative vigor, right, that creative chaos imagination that you have, that third eye, whatever works for you, and you feel the sensation of warmth. I tell people to bring it back up through their body. Bring back up through their body. And as they bring it up, they have a connection to the earth. They become grounded. They are one with a creative energy. They are one with a life force. They are one with all. They are one with the circle of life, right? So you need to be grounded. Connect. To ground yourself, you must connect. To be successful, you must connect. You must stay grounded. You can't be, remember, if you don't have that firm foundation, you can't enjoy the hurricane of happiness, of healing, of honorable moments, uh, 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 of going up the hierarchy. If you are not grounded, then when that hurricane comes, right, and and you see the property, you see people around you who were not ready for it, you'll see. But you didn't build your house out of straw. You built it out of material that withstands because you believe in yourself. You believe in yourself and you believe that you're ready to grow. Look at that. Believe and succeed. You can't make that shit up, right? Believe and succeed. That looks a lot like as above, so below, right? Balance. And with balance, you got to choose your own battles, right? That's what you have to do. You may have 3 or 4 people coming out at you, right? And if you don't say, hey, no, I know where I stand, right? I know where I stand. I had a friend who was working in high school theater, and this individual knew how they wanted to cast the show, and well, the millennial parents didn't like it, and they were very upset because they, you know, oh, this person, oh, but this person, oh, they're a senior, oh, they're a junior, whatever, right? But this director friend of mine knew that this cast was like a once in a lifetime moment. These people were all together, and they would each create a dynamic that would just blow up, right? Because some people liked each other, some people didn't. And it was a struggle. It was great power. It was like boom, 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 and it was healing. And he knew, or she knew, right? Or they knew how to bring art into the healing process. That artist stood their ground and was grounded and would not back down. Would not back down. Don't back down. Know your worth. Stand your ground. Be collaborative. Listen. Right? Don't just go off with your mouth. Because then you lose your peace. When you lose your peace, you lose your purpose. Peace in power. Power in peace. Pip, however you want to do it. Right? You've got it. I believe in you. The Creative Collective believes in you. This world believes in you. People here at Things Network, I can't speak for them, but I'm pretty sure they believe in you. Right? We are together. We're not alone, even though when you feel you're alone, right? If anything, COVID taught us we can be locked in our houses thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen next? But we're still find some way to connect. If it's Zoom, if it's email, if it's Facebook or whatever, if it's blogs, we are connected. We are connected. So go find that tree that you're going to imitate. Feel it. Hold it. I have a great friend who would say, I'm just going to go hug a tree. That's what I'm going to go do right now. I'm going to go hug a tree. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I'm going to go do tonight. For the next 5 minutes, when this broadcast is over, I want you to go find something that makes you happy. Maybe something nostalgia. I listen to Thundercats or the Undertaker soundtrack or the Silverhawk soundtrack or the original Batman soundtrack. Me and my son watch Ghostbusters, the cartoon, in the morning, and he'll go clap, 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 clap. And that makes me happy. Right. Take it to a limit, Eagles edition, as my wife would say. Know your limits. Know where you're going. Know you can get there, but it takes time. If you have any ideas, ladies and gentlemen, about topics y'all want me to discuss, please do not hesitate to email me at either the eccentricmedium@gmail.com or sundayswithsuits@gmail.com. And I will get back to you. Like I said, if you want appointments, same thing there. So choose your own battles. Choose your own battles and choose them wisely. If you're in a foxhole and there's bullets going over your head, quote unquote, know that if you get up, you might get hit. Practice awareness. Know when to get out of no man's land. If you need to have some kind of imagery, watch Wonder Woman, the first one. That director fought for that scene because it was important. It's important. We're all Wonder Woman. Right? We're all Wonder Woman. Right? If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to ruin it for you, but watch that scene because the director fought for it. The director fought for it. People are fighting for you that you might not even know about. I had a great talent manager once tell me, he's like, you don't know what I say about this person and that person to casting or to director friends of mine. My friends don't know what I say to my director friends about people that I know. They don't. The world is very small, ladies and gentlemen, very small. And I learned that the very hard way, especially the entertainment world and the paranormal world, right? So if you get mud on your face, it's okay. You can always wipe it off. You get blood on your face, you might have a scar, and that's okay. You have a good story to tell. So raise your glass, raise your flask, whatever serves your task. Ladies and gentlemen, onward, upward, greatness abounds. Soak up your humanity, create your art, and make your impact. We are the army of now, so we don't have to have armies of tomorrow. Go out, hug a tree, hug your loved one, tell them something that they need to hear, that you want to tell them. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for everything that you do for this world, because it's not always a beautiful world. It's not always a beautiful world, but we are beautiful people. All the world's a stage, and we're yet merely players upon it. I know some Shakespeare person is going to get mad at me because I probably misquoted that, but that's okay. To thy own self be true and know thyself. Uga Sooth, healing is life, and life is healing. Y'all have a great night. I'll see you here, same time next Sunday. Sunday with Suits. Uga Sooth. Thank you all so much for the support and love. Make sure you're following Things Network. Make sure you're saying hello and supporting all these people, okay? Bye-bye.